Well, let's ask him if that's the case. Jason Paris, One New Zealand CEO. Vodafone, of course, changed to One New Zealand. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
This is a good week to be a Warriors fan, isn't it, mate?
It's been a good year to be a Warriors fan. I've got all these people getting on the bandwagon. The more people, the better, in my opinion. But, I think it's just a great time to be a Warriors fan, isn't it?
What are your expectations for the weekend?
I think we'll win.
Wow.
The Master versus the Apprentice.
Yeah.
I think, I think, a nearly fully streaked squad to pick from. And I think, funnily enough, I think we'll probably meet in the final again.
Wow.
So, that's my pick is that, we'll win, and even if we don't, we'll meet them in the final. I think this team's got something special and this coach has got something special about them.
If we lose this match and we have to play a semi at home here, Mount Smart or Eden Park, do you have any say or any input at all into that decision?
No.
No.
No, but I can see the argument both ways. So I can see, on one side of the coin, a lot more money generated through, nearly double the number of seats at Eden Park. You get more people exposed to the game. The atmosphere, I'm sure, would be, incredible. It'd be up there like Women's Rugby World Cup or a Women's Football World Cup type atmosphere, which would be great. However, from a player's perspective, I think they've earned the right to have a home semi-final, and the sacrifices I've made over the last 2 years, it might feel to the players like it's an away game if they're playing at Eden Park, and I definitely know it's their preference, and it's Cam's preference and the club's preference to be at Mount Smart. I think it's the loyal fans' preference to be at Go Media, Mount Smart Stadium as well, and I think it would be a pretty cool thing for the NRL to do to kind of acknowledge that sacrifice. But I do understand both perspectives. I talked to Sir Peter Leach about this the other day. He has an interesting perspective, and I don't want to speak for him, but his observation to me is this is a professional football club, a very strong professional team, and they'll turn up and they'll win regardless of which ground they're playing on. But I do think it gives them a strategic advantage if it's at Go Media Mount Smart.
Jason Paris, CEO of One New Zealand. I'm going to track you back to May the 5th. You remember that day?
Yes.
You made some comments on Twitter. At that stage, we were 6-5. We'd just lost to Penrith. From that point, we went on an 11-3 run.
Yes.
Do you think anything changed at that time? I mean, has there still been a subconscious bias against the Warriors, or is it when your team's winning, things tend to go your way? What are your observations since that time in terms of the refereeing?
Well, the first observation is my wife's confiscated my phone during all Warriors matches from that point onwards. So that's first observation. Second observation is that was the weekend I bought my flights to the grand final. And all we were looking for is, for some kind of consistency. And I think, to be honest, it's nothing to do with my comments. It's all to do with the momentum that this team has created themselves. I think your observation is right, that winning teams get momentum in all sorts of ways in this competition. And I think that's what the team have earned. So, this 11-3 track record, I think it definitely helps with them with momentum on the field as well.
Looking back now, what are your thoughts on it? I mean, that if Jason Paris speaks about the Warriors, that that there are going to be news media organisations looking at it, and they're going to want to create a clickbait headline and everything else. How do you feel about it now? Do you regret doing it? Do you think, hell, it was just something I did at the time? What are your thoughts?
I think one of the things, the downsides of me is that I don't think of myself as the CEO of One New Zealand. I think of myself as JP from Southland. This bogan used to play South League on Sundays, and I keep on forgetting sometimes that when you say stuff, it can create a headline. So something I need to keep on reflecting on, and my wife keeps on reminding me of. But look, at the end of the day, I think it did create some conversation and some support for the team from all sorts of different clubs and areas that has helped grow the fan base at the end of the day. But a lot of us have regrets with what we've seen on social media at certain points in time, don't we?
I'm looking in the mirror. That's all I'm doing. I'm just looking in the mirror. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the rabbit hole on these kind of things, I mean, sometimes I like it. I dip my toe in, and I think, and then other times I get so frustrated at it. But I found it amusing that there was the sidebar. Oh no, this is a conspiracy theory that Jason Paris had planned this, that he was using this to do an advertising campaign effectively for the switch from Vodafone to One New Zealand. My goodness, there's a lot of dots that got to be connected to do that. When you see those kind of stories, how do you react to those, mate? I'm
not that smart, Marty.
You're a very smart man. We all know that.
I'm just a passionate fan. My mate should tell you that. No, I'm not smart enough. No, like all this is a passionate supporter of the team and the heat of the moment. And look, what I think though is, like, I do have to compliment the NRL. Look, I think what they're doing with this game is just incredible. Like, I know you've been pretty vocal in terms of the differences between rugby and league. I think that goes right through. It goes from the differences at the leadership, at the exec, the rules, right through the game. And I just think the NRL are absolutely humming at the moment. I think it's just never been packaged up better. The commentators, the rule changes that they make, what a fantastic spectacle league is at the moment. So, I can't say enough positive things about what the NRL are doing for this game at the moment. And just super excited to be a part of the final series at the same time.
Jason, they were banning around words like defamation. Did you actually get in any official trouble over this, or is it all sorted?
No, like the NRL, it's all sorted. The NRL, clearly need to defend their refs, and I acknowledge that. One of the first things I said, was apologise for the use of my unfortunate wording. And so no, we had a conversation. I agreed that my intention behind the language wasn't how it came across, and put out that apology, and we've kind of moved on. They know we're great supporters of the game. I think we're the longest standing sponsor in NRL's history. We've stuck with the Warriors through thick and thin, as all of the fans have, and so we've moved on, and the NRL are supportive of the Warriors, supportive of our sponsorship. So, I think a lot of the headlines around the sponsorship being stopped or other stuff happening was just all about headlines and keeping the story going. We kind of moved on pretty quickly after my apology, and we moved on.
Jason Paris with a couple of business questions to leave you with. Sponsorships like yours, do you place KPIs on it? Does the team have to perform to a certain level?
No, it doesn't actually. So I have been a part of other sponsorships when I was working overseas that was the case. Do you have a funny little anecdote on that story, Marty?
Sure.
This is a true story. So when I was working for Nokia in Europe, we were looking at trying to get the front of the Chelsea football top. It actually went to Samsung. We lost out on it. But those big deals overseas, they are based on performance. So if you get in the Champions League or win the Premiership or whatever, you get an extra bonus. What they do is they put the money on the bookies to de-risk your maximum commercial exposure.
Wow.
Isn't that fascinating? So
Yeah.
they'll go to Paddy Power, and your sponsorship might be £5 million, but you're at risk of £8 million if they win it. They go and put that money on at Paddy Power to de-risk that performance basis. I thought that was fascinating.
Gee, wow.
Way of de-risking your commercial exposure when you're a sponsor. Look, but for us, no, we don't. We ride the highs and the lows with the team, and our probably biggest additional investment is the longer the team go through the competition, the more money we invest to associate ourselves with it, through advertising and activation and all those social media things that we do. So we spend a bit more money to promote our partnership the longer that the season goes, and the more successful that the club is. That's the only variation. We've just got a commitment with the club that will be with them through thick and thin, and they know that they can count on a good, healthy level of commercial investment for us to help them compete.
Well, final question then. When the team's playing so well, you get an up the wires thing going on all over the country, and it just builds its own momentum. Does it result in an uptake in business for you? Is it discernible, and how can you tell that?
Oh, you can just the best way. It's the best way for anything, right? To work out how the economy's going or how your business is going is to have a conversation with a taxi driver, and they'll tell you pretty quickly. And so the word on the street is that this is a fantastic partnership for One New Zealand, and to be fair, has been in the good times and the bad. But I tell you what, it's skyrocketing for us at the moment. So lots of things go into commercial success, but we've got more people joining us, more people buying more from us, more people coming into our retail stores. We track our brand consideration. It's now the highest it's been, and I think a part of that definitely has been our partnership with this great team. So it's these things. You always know that advertising and marketing works. You're never sure which 50% is and which 50% isn't. I can tell you that the One New Zealand Warriors partnership is definitely working for us at the moment on a whole bunch of levels, and we couldn't be more delighted.